I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. Josh here. Hope you're still having a great Monday afternoon. Hello to C. Marcia and everybody else. C. Marcia says, and we're back. Yes, we are back. We got some new stuff to talk about, some fake news, some activist judges. Some of the judges, again, more is being dug up on some of the judges that are ruling against Trump and his administration as far as the executive orders and things they are trying to put forth to make America first.
I'm excited to announce that
we're going to get into that. I got some other stuff. I don't know if you guys seen Eye Patch McCain threatening Tucker Carlson, and we got that. And then we also got Tucker Carlson's response.
They sell out fast every year, so order
Dan
now.
Crenshaw
Save
is
20%
a rhino.
brand new My Crosses.
He is a
They're designed in
sellout.
the
How he
likeness of the
ever
one I've worn
stays in
every
this
day for over
position,
20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're
I
made
don't know.
right
It's
here
like
in
paid
the
opposition.
USA.
We're paying
Get
our own paid
2025
opposition.
six-piece My
Hold
Towel
on.
sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now.
Checking something. I see that. Okay, something happened. Something happened. We got that fixed now. We got that fixed now. Sorry, the ad is playing again. Yes, I'm telling you, Rumble Studios is not the best. We're working with it, though. We're working with it. So we're going to talk about all that and a lot more. And it seems like maybe some immigration's going on at Colony Ridge. We've talked about Colony Ridge extensively. We're going to get into some of the details, show you what we're seeing out there. That is kind of an area to harbor illegals is what the rumors have been. And we'll talk about that here in a little while. Texas Bigfoot's in the house. Susan K. Spencer, Bev A. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you please hit that like button, let's get on the road. So you know what I heard yesterday is I'm going through social media from all the paid opposition to President Trump is that the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, declined Trump's invite to the White House. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what to think. I thought, really? And, I guess what I really thought in 2025, this partisan BS, and as I think it says more about the Eagles than it does about anything else. And then there was some, let me pull this up, some stuff like this. It says Christy Jackson, who is, again, one of the people that put out fake news and everything else. Again, they try to hope that people won't do their own research. It says, breaking, the Philadelphia Eagles didn't just decline Trump's White House invite. They apparently said, hell no. Per the Sun, players and front office unanimously shut it down. Brutal. Can't wait for Trump's meltdown over this. One thing's certain. If Philly fan Joe Biden were in office, they would already be celebrating at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And so, of course, doing what folks do. ELGSES, Eagles, right? Isn't that how the DEI mayor and some of the other folks do it, Saint fan? Some of the things, like we get some of the greatest memories anymore. So without social media, it would just be tough. But let's take a look at the updated one. This is from the Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport. And he says the Eagles would be honored to visit the White House. Team sources say it's one of the aspects of winning, and they are excited about and looking forward to receiving the invitation. So, again, a lot of stuff out there on the internet that you can't believe, especially if it's coming from somebody like that bonehead Chris. Hello, Nola. How are you guys doing? Let's check this out. The FBI is doing their job finally. The FBI in Corpus Christi and local partners have thwarted another mass casualty event. This was, are you ready yet? A trans terrorist event that they thwarted. It says FBI Corpus and Corpus Christi PD arrested Seth, a.k.a. Andrea Grigori, today on state charges filed by Nueces County DA after he planned. I love how they're using the correct pronouns. This is just welcome to Trump's America. How after he planned an attack on police similar to the 2016 Dallas ambush. And I'll pull this. Let me put this a little larger. We'll pull that on the screen for you so you can see that came from the FBI Houston field office. And again, Seth, a.k.a. Andrea Grigori, today on state charges filed by the district attorney after he planned an attack. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was during the Black Lives Matter stuff, wasn't it, in 2016, where they literally lied in wait and tried to attack police officers, shot police officers. They did, actually. So this person was planning a mass casualty attack, and good job on the FBI for preventing that. Also, great job on not playing along with Seth while he's playing dress up. He was born with a penis. He's a he. There's only he and she's, guys. And you can't switch what you're born from. Now, last week, I'm just going to show you just a couple seconds of this. But last week, Secretary Duffy, Transportation Secretary Duffy, was here in California talking about the boondoggle of the high-speed rail and saying that they were going to audit the high-speed rail. Gavin came out and said, oh, we've been audited hundreds of times. Listen to what he says in this one, though, that, you know, maybe folks are getting audit fatigue. Listen to this, because we know we're going to find some big stuff when we do this. If we got to refresh.
It's the issues of audits. I mean, you know, I was commenting when I was with President Trump. We talked about the high-speed rail, and there was some discussion well before the public presentation on high-speed rail last week around audits. I think we've been audited 100 times there. Happy to see another audit. At a certain point, you have audit fatigue. I think at the end of the day, people want outcomes and they want results for their money spent. Audits for audit's sake service no one, just services headlines. What people want is problems solved, and they want to see it. They want to believe it. They don't want to hear it, and they don't want to hear excuses.
And that's all we've heard in California is excuses. If you guys don't know, the high-speed rail was suspected to cost $33 billion and be done in 2020. We haven't time traveled today, but we are currently what is it? February 24th, 2025. That's right. Not 1 inch, not 1 mile of track has been laid here in California. Now it's expected that the project will cost around $128 billion. When it was sold in, was it 2008? When it was sold to the voters in 2008, it would be ready to run. It would go from San Francisco to Los Angeles. It would be a high-speed rail, and it would be done by 2020. So, yes, Gavin, the Californians are tired of the excuses and the lies and all the money. I mean, think about it. We've spent what I think 18 billion already. Don't have a ground. Don't have anything. Don't have anything but wasted money, wasted resources, and another pet project for Democrats. I seen this headline. A federal judge declined, this was CNN, a federal judge declined to temporarily restore the Associated Press's access to some of the President Trump events, the Oval Office and Air Force One. First of all, I'm a very strong advocate of the First Amendment. You should not be silenced. I don't care if your point is different than mine, your opinion is different than mine. I will stand and fight for you to say that. And we talked about the lawsuit was coming, but to think that you have a special benefit. How many media outlets are there? Probably over, when it comes to podcasts and independent journalists, there's probably over 100,000 easily. So you're telling me that for some reason Associated Press thinks they're privileged? Times have changed, sweetheart. Times have changed. If you don't want to accept when an executive order's done and a name change and all the other stuff, all the other propaganda you've promoted and the lies about the immigration and how you try to put a family, instead of the drug dealer or the murderer or the rapist that's getting deported so that you can kill, so that people see that and they're like, oh, this is what Trump's doing, not giving the whole story. But especially if you're going to lie to your readers about the Gulf of America, you don't get an advantage of being in there. You don't get the privilege. If I go to the White House, they're not going to let me into the Oval Office. If any local agency, if my local newspaper, if my local news station went in there, you are granted access. And that granting's gone a lot of different ways. So, now they're changing that up a little, which is absolutely good news. We're seeing some real independent journalists in there. Speaking of judges, Natalie Winters, check this out. This is interesting. The wife of the judge who just blocked President Trump's ICE raids appeared to be the former vice president of National Immigration Reform, a pro-open borders advocacy group. She was also a Biden administration appointee. Remember when we said they're shopping judges? They're going to look for the activists, not judges, activists. Well, that's what we're seeing here. It says, meet the far left, Jacinta Ma. And this was it. The National Immigration Forum advocates for mass amnesty and staunchly opposes border enforcement. And George Soros Open Society Foundation is also reportedly the group's largest donor. So her husband is a judge, and we covered this on our earlier show, that blocks some of the areas where these ICE can go to detain criminal, illegal aliens. Let's take a look at this stuff that Natalie Winters picked up on here. Good job on her. Director, Board of Directors, Asian Pacific American Legal Resource Center. Vice President, America is Better. There it is. Vice President and Policy for National Immigration Forum. So this is the wife of that judge. Civil rights and public policy advocate, experienced manager in nonprofit and government settings, and strategic communicator. Check that, Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. If she's looking for a place to live, it's going to be a lot cheaper there soon. Undocumented indirect, look at the stuff they sell. State and local tax contributions, 11.4 million. We've already debunked all this stuff. They don't take into a consideration the hundreds of billions of dollars that go to illegals for healthcare, EBT, housing, education. We are in the hole when it comes to this stuff. Funding in February 2019, District of Columbia Mayor Muriel Bowser announced a $100,000 grant to the organization to help immigrants going through the process of becoming citizens. The taxpayer dollars will specifically go to the NIF's New American Workforce Project, which is supposed to help with the cost of naturalization filing fees, English language classes, and immigration attorneys. The mayor's office asserted this grant represents the largest such government fund in the nation. The Open Society Foundation, that's George Soros, the private philanthropic entities of liberal billionaire George Soros are reportedly the group's largest contributor. So you literally have a judge. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I got to make sure I have this in order. Hold on. I had this out of order because there's another one, and we're going to show you what's going to happen to these activist judges. She also put the National Immigration Forum is so radically anti-Trump, it participated in an auctioning off a life-size nude statue mocking Trump in 2016. You don't think there's a conflict of interest here? You don't think a judge that's married to this, that's obviously part of this, should be able to rule on this? It profited 6 figures from the stunt. They're radically opposed to building a wall, too. During Trump's second term, the group is actively lobbying against mass deportations, putting out a host of statements condemning DHS actions to revoke temporary protected status and conduct ICE raids. She herself is an avid Democrat, having donated 24 times to Democrat candidates, including President Trump's opponent. In addition to working for Obama, Ma was Biden's director of the Office of Communication and Legislative Affairs at the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity. That's just, man, great reporting from Natalie Winters. Way to pull that stuff out. And it's exactly what we talk about all the time. All the time. Rep. Andy Ogles. I just formally introduced articles of impeachment on radical LGBTQ activist U.S. District Court Judge John Bates. Now, John Bates is the one that we covered last week, another radical on the bench, not a judge, but an activist, who ordered the Trump administration to put all their trans stuff back up on their websites that Biden had added. It says he's attempting to block President Trump's order to remove web pages containing resources about gender affirming care from government sites is appalling. It says at no point in American history has the judiciary considered the surgical or chemical castration of healthy children to be compelling or even legitimate health concern, and it shouldn't start now. We must protect our children from predators like Judge Bates. He is a predator. Hopefully these people in these communities and in these neighborhoods, they step up, and I mean, it would be great. It would be great to see that they're not welcome because you can refuse service to anybody, right? If I own a store and you're pro gender mutilization of children, I have the right to say sorry. Let's hope that happens. Next, check this out. Eye Patch McCain. He just finished up an interview, and listen to what he says when he doesn't think the cameras are going.
Thank you. Have you ever met Tucker?
Hold on, let me refresh it. Of course, it would freeze on the one video that I want to show you. Eye Patch McCain, Dan Crenshaw.
Thank you. Thank you. Have you?
Let's pull this up. Why is this thing not? This thing is being a pain in my.
Thank you. Have you ever met Tucker?
We've talked a lot. If I ever meet him, I'll finally tell him. He's the worst person.
You hear that? If I ever meet him, I'm gonna.
Have you ever met Tucker?
We've talked a lot. If I ever meet him, I'll finally tell him. He's the worst person.
Thank you.
Big old bad. He reminds me of Michael Fanone, Dan Crenshaw. And he says, I'm going to effing kill him. I'm not joking. And I guarantee Tucker got a kick out of this because Tucker, you got to love Tucker more and more each day. When rhinos, our Democrats, I wouldn't even call them rhinos. Rhinos is too good of a name for these traitors like Dan Crenshaw. When Tucker hears this, you know he's laughing away. He's laughing away. Look what Tucker did say. Why don't you come sit for an interview and we'll see how you do? I'll send you my address, Dan Crenshaw in Texas. You gotta love it. Like, honestly, I talked earlier about Dan Bongino and meeting Dan Bongino. I can tell you, Tucker Carlson, we met him. I have a picture of Tucker Carlson back in 2018. This is when he was on Fox News. And also another down-to-earth guy that is very humble, chilled, laid back. Like, you wouldn't think, Tucker's an absolute superstar. But I remember him telling his security to chill out, that he wanted to talk to people. And there was a lot of people ready to see Tucker. But so we'll see what Dan Crenshaw does, see how he plays this one off. Then also, while I was getting ready for this show, I was listening to Vivek Ramaswamy, guys. What we've been saying and suspecting. Let me put that up on here for you and check it out.
I am honored to announce my candidacy to serve as the next governor of the state of Ohio. President Trump is reviving our conviction in America. We require a leader here at home who will revive our conviction in Ohio. And that is why today I am honored to announce that I am running to be the next governor of a great state at the heart of the greatest nation known to mankind, the state where I was born and raised, the state where Apurva and I raise our two sons today, a state whose best days are still ahead. I am honored to announce my candidacy to serve as the next governor of the state of Ohio. I will lead Ohio to be the top state in the country to start and grow a new business. I will lead Ohio to be the top state in the country to raise a young family. I'll lead Ohio to be the top state in the country where our kids get a world-class education in math, reading, writing, critical thinking, and physical education. I will lead Ohio to be the top state in the country where we give our kids the toolkit to think of themselves not as victims, but as victors in a competitive global economy. We will lead Ohio to be the top state in the country where we embrace capitalism and meritocracy instead of apologizing for it. We will lead Ohio to be the top state in the country that takes a hatchet to red tape, overregulation, and bureaucracy. We will lead Ohio to be the top state in the country where we lead the way in the sectors of the future, from semiconductors to aerospace. Look at where we are today. How about this company, guys? Love this, in the heart of Butler County. An aerospace company leading us to the future, all the way to AI and the other sectors of our future. I will lead Ohio to be the top state in the country where patriots across America actually flock to instead of Florida and Texas. I will lead Ohio to be the state of excellence in America.
Again, I think if I was in Ohio, that would be a pretty good choice. I don't agree on Vivek on 100% of stuff, but 90%. And the fact that a lot of these states have been electing rhinos or people that aren't their state first, it was good. I listened to the whole thing. He had multiple people. Hold on. The heck was that just came up? But it would be great to see Vivek and have him win that election. It'll be interesting to see how he does, being very MAGA himself, being very outspoken himself. So that is great news. And now we reported earlier The things you're going to see from Democrats right now is they're going to go try to crash conservative town halls. They're going to use the media to say, oh, look, the people that voted for Donald Trump are upset with Elon and Doge, which we've showed you earlier. If you missed our first podcast, go back and watch it. Like 7 in 10 Americans love what Doge is doing. That's conservative and liberals, are Democrat and Republican. And so they've done this a couple times throughout the weekend. People that did not, nor would they ever vote for a conservative. These are all the people with TDS. They're sending them into these town halls and they're saying, hey, they're yelling, they're protesting outside, they're doing their cultish chants. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Elon Musk must go. Listen to this. Again, they're trying to use this one. Mark Alford, a Republican out of Missouri, I like the way he handled it. Again, they're going in there, they're getting there early, they're trying to do this. Look for town halls in your areas, get there soon, support your folks if they're supporting Elon and they're supporting Trump and the America First agenda. Listen to this, though.
Elon Musk has contracts with the federal.
Listen. Whoa, that's weird. Put it on the wrong screen.
Elon Musk has contracts with the federal government. But he is also, I think, doing an effective job.
Conflict of interest! Show me!
There are a lot of people who don't want to see waste, abuse, and fraud weeded out. Some of them here today.
I don't want him.
You hear how he said that? Some of the people don't want to see waste, abuse, and fraud taken out, and some of those people are here today.
In charge of it.
But he is
waste, fraud, abuse.
Executive who can appoint whoever he can appoint you.
I thought it was your job. It is your job.
Elon Musk and the president have agreed that if there is any potential conflict of interest,
It is your job.
today that some people don't believe that would happen.
It is your job.
In the next election, to elect someone that you believe.
We didn't elect Elon.
I love it. He throws them on in. If you don't like this, you go elect somebody who you believe can do it.
Remember your oath.
Remember your oath. These are all triggered libtards. They cannot handle it, and every day it gets better with each and every firing of a woke general, each and every report that comes out that shows how many millions of our tax dollars have been wasted. They freak out. Oh my God, we're not funding transgender operas. Well, we got it. We got Elon. We didn't elect Big Balls. We didn't elect Elon. Yes, we did. And we're going to support him. And you even have the left now calling for civil war, too. I thought that was interesting. A lot of people saying this is going to end in a civil war. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of Pam Bondi, but I'm going to put something out that I don't like that came across. And this bothers me. And the reason why, I'll explain afterwards. Take a listen to this video here.
Writing it, and we are going to bring in something called the Gun Violence Restraining Order. So if someone is civilly committed typically you can hold them for up to 72 hours, but people are getting out within 24 hours, the majority of them. So what we want to do is let law enforcement come in and take the guns.
Good.
They're a danger to themselves.
Which you can't do
others.
right now.
Well, because without being adjudicated. So because they're a danger to themselves.
You want them to take the guns and
when they are
not go through 6 months of legal trials and everything.
Exactly. But we also have to give the mentally ill the due process in which they deserve, President. So what we're doing is they're going to be able to take the guns when they're taken into custody or into the hospital. And then when they're released within 24 hours or 72 hours later, typically it's 24 hours, but law enforcement will have 72 hours to determine whether they should give those guns back, or they can go to a judge and say, Your Honor, please keep these guns. We feel this person is still a danger to himself or others.
So this would not have worked the way it's currently constituted. This would not have worked with Cruz. As it's currently constituted.
as it
So I'm going to tell you what the issue with this is, and we've talked about some interesting stuff here. This can be scary in certain ways. Now, as it sounds, it would be perfect and a complete rule of law without partisanship. Without partisanship. Now, this isn't a recent video, but what scares me about this, and we covered a little bit of it before because there is some new calls for this, is okay, we have what you call a 5150 in California. In that 5150, you have somebody who can be committed for a 72-hour hold. It doesn't happen very often. But what I want you to think about, remember when J6ers were arrested doing solitary confinement and they were saying that the election was stolen? And you said you had judges asking for mental evaluations because the judges said they were crazy for saying that an election could be stolen in the United States. If you have that kind of law and we push this further and further down the road, and who's to say? We don't know what's going to happen in 2028. We don't know what Democrats are going to do. We don't know what they have up their sleeves. So say you're a gun-toting lover of freedom, Second Amendment like myself, and you go out there and there's a big thing that goes on and somehow you're arrested and they're like, well, this guy is saying that the election was stolen. And the judge says, remove his guns. He's not mentally capable. That's the scary thing. And we've already done it under Biden. If you remember, Laura Loomer, without breaking any laws or doing anything wrong, had her gun restrictions taken away. So it's not that it can't happen. We got to make sure that we push and push and push so it doesn't happen. Check this one out. We got another NGO that we want to talk about. It says, fun fact, this is from Data Republican. Says, fun fact, we have an entire AFL-CIO NGO we're financing almost entirely with taxpayer dollars. The Solidarity Center, an NGO affiliated with the AFL-CIO, receives millions of tax dollars to influence labor rights worldwide. It was established alongside the National Endowment for Democracy and serves as the ideological counterpart to CIPE, the free markets focused NGO. We have over 100 million in active spending awards for them. Note, they even say AFL-CIO on their logo. This is just more stuff. This is, again, why Democrats are panicking. Let me see if this will pull up. Solidarity Center. Year ended December 30th. This shows the money. Federal awards. 38 million, 36 million. In-kind contributions for federal awards. Other contributions. So like 97%, 96% of their money comes from the federal government. And look at where it was spent. You guys can see some of that. Global, 6.8. Africa, 6.4. America's only 6.3. Europe, 4.6. Middle East. Again, this is where your tax dollars are going, folks. There's the logo with the AFL-CIO on there. I love this. It's coming to light. The more Democrats scream and the more they cry, and they're just cutting your Social Security and Medicare. They want you to die. They want you to spend $5 million per insulin shot. It's going nowhere, folks. It's going nowhere. The average American doesn't believe it anymore, and they're looking at stuff like this saying, why are we funding the AFL-CIO? All right, so ABC 13 Houston said DPS and ICE operations in Colony Ridge, Liberty County officials say. Now, if you remember, we talked about Colony Ridge a couple times. There was a couple documentaries on it. Here's a picture of some of that right now. Now, this Colony Ridge, let me see if we can pull this up. This was one of the videos. Colony Ridge sprawls across nearly 60 square miles, about the size of Washington, D.C., and is 40 miles outside of Houston. Much of Colony Ridge is third world shantytown where foreign flags outnumber American ones. But how do we know that it's a hotbed for illegal aliens? Let me show you. Remember, there was people, who was that took the helicopter flight? I haven't seen him on X lately. That's why I can't think of his name. Jan took a helicopter flight over some of this, saying that these people, that this literally the people building this is doing it for illegal aliens. Let's take a look at some of this video, and we're going to find out, hopefully by tomorrow, what ICE and Border Patrol found and how many they arrested. Take a look at this video. So this is some of the areas. Now they're also building entire subdivisions out here in Colony Ridge. See if this one gets to the good part or not. I don't think this is the video I was looking for. This is showing you the area. So that will be interesting. I'll pull up something else really quick. Let's see. See if there's an update on that. Is this it? This is insane. A real estate developer has created a third world city right here in Texas for thousands of illegals. It says the real Daily Wire's Spencer Lundquist flew a helicopter over Colony Ridge, Texas, which is 40 miles north. So this is the area where Border Patrol and ICE are currently conducting some raids. That whole area was developed allegedly to harbor illegals. And now they have actual law enforcement down there. Let's see what else there was. Watch this.
By the time Joe Biden's out of office, there'll be about...
I just seen if there was anything else on the raids here. There's not. HSI agents with some masks and long guns making arrest at a tire shop in Colony Ridge. Here's that video here. Kind of small the way these people record and don't know how to upload that. So we'll see how it goes, guys. We got FBI doing their job. They stopped a suspected mass terrorist, a trans terrorist. We covered that. And we have a lot of activist judges trying to take on the Trump administration, trying to take on the America First agenda. I want to say thank you to everybody who blesses this channel. If you would like to donate, we can't do it without your donations. Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army. GiveSendGo.com/Oreo2024. And if you prefer to use Zelle, at theoreoexpress.com. That's our website, theoreoexpress.com. Go over there. There's a donate now button, and there's also an awesome store if you want to buy some gear. Got this hat on there, got this shirt on there. So want to say thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. We can't do it without you. If anything goes breaking tonight, a little later, I will be back near the studio. So we will be covering it live. And I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. Can't do it without you. And we will see you tomorrow morning. And have a blessed day from Central California. Take care.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows